What do you guys think about the new AD so far? How do you like his role?
I like it. I mean, it's early in his tenure, but as Chavez pointed out, like, we're seeing our athletics perform better than they have in in recent memory. There was immediate uptick. Like Coach L, arguably on the hot seat when Radakovich was hired. Now he has the program as far as we've ever been in the NCAA tournament. Like, this is functionally tied as the best season we've ever had, right? This is the deepest we've ever been in the playoffs. And then things are firing on all cylinders in the football program. So, like, it has to be good. It's a small body of work, but just the whole vibe around the university is much more positive. I don't really see anyone expecting us to be all fluff again. That kind of became a trend that even when we were loaded hypothetically before the season, people are just like, well, this is what happens. Miami comes into the season, they're ranked 15th in the preseason poll, and just wait till they play a decent team, right? Yeah. I mean, I haven't really seen that vibe in the national media yet. I think people are taking us very seriously, and it's because people can sense. Chavez said something about the fans buying in, right? Like that's kind of the final step. Is why would the fans put their money, put their emotion into something when we can tell that the administration isn't even doing that? So the fact that there is reciprocal buy-in, from the fans too, because they see the administration, like that's kind of the final step in this process is everybody is bought in top to bottom, including us, right?
Yeah, buying the fans is one of the biggest things. They had to buy us. They had to convince us because we were pretty much getting to the point where we were done. If the right hires weren't made, I heard from a lot of fans that they were considering not getting their season tickets for that season if the right hires were made, if we didn't put money into the program. So I mean, maybe it took a while, but maybe it just happened at the exact right time too. That's how I'm kind of looking at it. I hate what we had to go through, but maybe, just maybe, all that madness led to something like this, that we can have something truly positive from top to bottom. That's my hope, anyways. Chavez, do you think that that's a possibility?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility, man. I think that's a possibility. And just to kind of go back to what you were saying about how the fans were, I think all the fans were saying that after Manny Diaz, or that they knew Manny Diaz was out the door, but the fans were saying, commentators were saying, this next hire has to be the right hire. You cannot mess this up again, because had they messed it up again, it would have been really bad. And at the end of the day, for the college to put the money into the program that pretty much brings you money in the first place, it is an investment. And so you have to make that investment if you want a return on your investment, right? So again, like we've been preaching all night, man, I think that everybody's really bought in. I think the fans are excited. I think we're happy that it seems the university is putting the money where their mouth is. I think the athletic director, him coming from a proven program like Clemson, I think people are excited about that. I saw a question down at the bottom, and they were saying that I think they were talking about our men's program and how they were having success in the tournament, and they were saying, do they think that would spill over to football? And the answer is absolutely yes. When I was there in my years, we would go to the basketball games, and we would go to the guys' games, we would go to the women's games, we would go to baseball games. Look, candidly, I don't like baseball. I don't watch baseball. But like, if we're winning and baseball is winning and basketball is winning, the campus is electric. The fans are electric. You want to be everywhere where Canes fans are. So anytime that you can have success from a holistic approach, and again, that's what the athletic director's job is all about. Like, how do we generate success? First and foremost, from the program that brings us the most money, which is football. And how do we spill that success over to basketball and rowing and swimming and tennis and all the other programs. Because at the end of the day, they are an athletic director for all the athletics.
Yep.
Of course, their focus is going to be football because that's what brings in the money.
Yep.
But if all of your programs are winning, it's easy to make money. And at the end of the day, the college wants to make money.
Yep. Well, it's almost become my catchphrase on this show, as I was advocating for us to start dropping bags, was the most expensive thing that they could do is be mediocre.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you said that last time.
Yep. I mean, so I'm a big NBA fan, and dude, I mean, if you remember, even like 10 years ago, the Golden State Warriors were a laughing stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
They build this incredible dynasty by being shrewd. To be fair, they drafted well, they made some good signings, but then they've had the biggest payroll in the NBA going on like 6 or 7 years now, and it's like no one ever talked about them being a big time NBA team before that. No one ever talked about, well, all the Warriors need to do is spend $170 million a season. Like,
right.
That wasn't really in the conversation, like they did what they had to do. And then they became so big and so successful that it didn't even matter anymore. I think the owners just like writing the checks, just like whatever,
right.
go out and win me another championship because it pays for itself. Right.
Yeah. 100%.
It's really expensive to be like okay at best. To be mediocre is very expensive.
Yeah.
Because you have all the same startup costs, but your revenue is lower, right?
Well, you don't even know what approach you're going. You don't know if you're going to do a rebuild. You don't know if you're going to try to work with the pieces you have. You don't know how far off you really are. So, I mean, that can turn into a nightmare. And we've seen it. We've seen long-term mediocrity in football. We've seen what happens, and it happened at Miami. And it's in that it showed where we could bring in talent, but it still didn't matter because we weren't bringing in enough talent and we weren't developing our talent. We didn't have the right coaches to do it. So, I mean, of course, we're harping on all the bad things that Miami's always did, but it's realistic because just for the first time in almost 2 decades, we're seeing something different. So, I mean, I still got part of me that's living in this old Miami, and I hate it. I don't want to be there anymore, but I'm still kind of half living there because I was living there for a decade and a half, basically.
Yeah.
I know Cristobal can change that, and he can change it in a hurry, and I truly hope he does, man. I really hope he does.